The powers of voice and thought. How leaders speak, influence, and active movement. Your message is never just the words you say. It is the emotion wrapped inside them. A defensive tone makes a smart message sound insecure. A rude tone makes an important object look sloppy. True influence is born when your internal stillness match your external song. If you are ready to stop fighting the room and start leading it, you need to master your foundational communication frequency. Discover how strategic silence, precise honesty, and real-time adaptively and can turn your voice into the unshakable and quiet people instinctively follow. There is a hard truth that most of us don't want to face. If people do not feel clarity, strength, and certainty in your voice, they will not trust you. They won't follow you, and they certainly won't take action because of what you say. You could have the most brilliant ideas in the world. You could have years of depth experience and real values to offer. But if the way you think and the way you speak doesn't reflect that strength, the world will never see your full potential. Most people still believe that good communication is about sounding smooth or talking with full confidence. But real influence doesn't come from being smooth. It comes from clear thinking. It comes from the place of calm authority. It comes from choosing strong, precise words. And it comes from controlling your tone, your breathing, your pacing, and your timing. And most importantly, it comes from knowing exactly when you speak and when to hold your silence. Many people fall into the same executing loops every single day. They speak before their thoughts are truly ready. Then, because you won't clear the first time, they spend minutes explaining themselves over and over again. They add even more words because they are terrified of being misunderstood. They talk long, but they don't talk sharp. They talk much, but they don't move anyone. They talk simply, hoping to be heard instead of speaking with the clear intentions to lead. The difference between two groups of people have nothing to do with natural talents, intelligence, or luck. The difference lies in 10 core pillars. Pillar 1. Think clearly before you speak. Let's start with the roots of the problem. Most people talk before they think. That single habit is silently destroying your influence. When your thoughts are scared, your words become scared. When your mind is fuzzy, your message becomes fuzzy. You cannot speak clearly until you learn to think clearly. Clarity is the absolute foundations of our professional communicators and leaders. Many people think communication starts the moment their mouth opens, but in reality, communication starts in the silence before the first word. It starts in speech. When you gather your thoughts, shape your intentions, and decide what truly matters. We have all met people who speak endlessly but say very little. They circle around their point, adding more and more words to fill the gaps left by their own unclear thinking. They talk faster because they feel unsure. They over-explain because their core message is weak. And somewhere in that sphere, they completely lose the room. A long message is not a strong message. A clear message is people don't feel because they lack intelligence. They feel because they are trying to organize their thought at the exact same time they are speaking them. The human mind is not a machine designed to think, filter, refine, and deliver simultaneously with precision. That is why people ramble. Think of your mind like a deck. If your mental deck is clustered with unrelated notes, distracting thoughts, and emotional notes, your words will reflect that exact truth. But when your mental deck is clean, your priority becomes instantly visible. Your ideas become shapes and your delivery becomes purposeful. Great communicators don't speak faster. They speak from a calmer, more organized mind. They take a breath, gather the essence of their thought, and release a clean sentence. Think of your thought like water. When water is stressed up, it becomes cloudy and muddy. When you let it settle, it becomes crystal clear. Slowing down doesn't mean you are thinking less. It means you are thinking much better. It means you are giving your mind the space to speak the signal from the noise. Pillar 2. Speak with calm authority. There is a certain type of voice that makes an entire room stop and listens. It is not the loudest voice. It is not the most energetic or aggressive. It is the calm voice, the steady voice, the voice of someone who leads without needing to push. Calm authority is one of the most powerful skills you can develop because it stabilizes the people around you. Most people think authority comes from volumes or speak, but loudness without intention just creates noise. Authority is not volume. Authority is present, and present begins with calm. When someone talks too fast, they trip over their own sentence. Their pace accelerates, and the perceived confidence drops instantly. You can feel their anxiety, a shaky rush or tense voice make even a brilliant idea sound defensive and weak. But a calm, centered voice transforms everything. It makes the same message sound deeply credible and trustworthy. Calmness signals that you are in control. This calm authority began physically with your breath. Your breath is the foundation of your tone and your pacing. When your breath is shallow and rushed, your voice becomes tense and shaky. But your breath is steady, your tone drops into a natural, grounded register. Your speed slows to a confident rhythm, and your presence expands. A calm voice communicates a powerful message before you even say a single word. I am in control of myself. And when people sense that you are in control of yourself, they instinctively trust you to lead them. Think of the leader you respect the most. They rarely raise their voice. They don't allow internal panic to leak into their delivery. They use silence strategically. They don't feel support because they know a pause communicates surplus confidence. The pause is not emptiness. The pause is emphasized. If you rush because you feel a moment of silence, you give your authority away. But if you intentionally pause before a key point, you gain gravity. Pillar 3. Use words that carry weight. Words are never natural. Your voice either strengthens your message or completely dissolves your credibility. Most people fill their sentence with soft words without even realizing it. They say things like maybe, sort of, kind of, I got, or basically. This filter was watered down your idea. They drain the force from your message before it even reached the listener. Weak words create weak influence. People judge you are confident by the specific language you choose. When your language is precise, your present feels powerful. Compare these two sentences. I think this might be the right direction from our project. Here is the direction we should take. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that adding more words makes an idea clearer. It doesn't. It just adds noise. People don't remember long, winding explanations. They remember clean, direct statement like, here is truth. This is what matters. Or the next step is this. Many people bury their message under the layers of soft language because they are afraid of sounding too direct or being judged. But directness is not rudeness. Directness is clarity, and clarity is a gift to your listener. Vague message cuts confusion completely, kill actions. Pillar 4. Structure your message like a leader. Leadership is not just about what you say. It is about the structure behind what you say. A clear structure turns ideas into a solid direction. A weak structure turns ideas into pure noise. Every conversation becomes easier when your message has a strong spin to stand on. People don't follow scattered thought. They follow a clear path. A structured message is like a roadmap. It tells your audience exactly where you are going, when you are going there, and what they need to look at. Without that map, your listener is left guessing, which leads to confusion and a loss of trust. A strong message always follows a simple, powerful sequence: point, support, pause, and directions. This structure is simple because Simplicity is the backbone of the powerful communications. The best communicators in the world are not complicated. They are disciplined. They know what to say, why they are saying it, and exactly how they will land the point. Be laughed. Speak to make people act. Understanding is not the same as action. Agreement is not the same as behavior. Nodding is not the same as commitment. If your words don't move people, you are not influencing, you are just talking. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings in communications. People think clarity is enough, but clarity without action is an unfinished message. You have seen it happen all the time. Sometimes presents are great ideas and the room nods. Everyone agree is sound smart. Everyone say it is important. And then nothing happen. Ideas doesn't fail because they are bad. Ideas fail because they don't turn into movement. That is the gap between a communicator and influencer. A communicator is playing an influencer activate. A communicator shares information, an influencer creates momentum. Your words should not only make people understand, your words should make people move. Here is the secret. People want directions more than they want information. Information informs but direction guide. And humans instinctively follow guidance when it is presented with confidence. This doesn't mean being controlling, it means being clear. The clearer your direction, the more willing people are to follow you. Unclear communication creates hesitation. Clear communication creates movement. To speak in a way that creates action, you must also understand emotional energy. People act when they feel urgency, not stress. Stress freezes people, but urgency wakes up them. Urgency is created through clarity, timing, and direction. When your message explains what matters, why it matters right now, and what the next step is, you create momentum almost automatically. People don't have to figure out what to do. You have already done that part of them. The influencer doesn't just speak clearly. Influencer speaks directionally. Every idea leads somewhere. Every message ends with a movement. Every conversation closes with purpose. Nothing is left floating, hanging, and unclear. This is how leaders talk. And here is another powerful truth. The clearer your direction, the more people will follow you. Even if disagree with you at the beginning. Clarity is persuasive. Certainty is persuasive. Direction is persuasive. Confusion is not. Pillar 6. Master your emotion tone. Your message is never just the word you say. Your message is the emotion wrapped inside those words. People don't only hear your sentence. They hear, and nothing reveals your emotional states faster than your tone. Tone is the truth behind the word. Tone exposes whether you are confident in insecure, centered, or overwhelmed. Tone tells people whether they should trust you or question you. Tone is your emotional signature. Most people lose influence not because they said wrong thing, but because they said the right thing with the wrong tone. A defensive tone makes a smart message sound insecure. A rushed tone makes an important message sound sloppy. A tense tone makes a calm idea sound hostile. Tone shapes perception before logic even has a chance to speak. Here is the truth many communicators don't want to accept. You can say everything correctly and still fail if your tone gives you away. Emotional tone is the bridge between intentions and impact. If the bridge is unstable, your message collapses. If the bridge is controlled, the message carries will weak. This is why mastering your emotional tone is a non-negotiable skill. The goal is not to eliminate emotion. The goal is to control emotion. Emotion is powerful when directed, but destructive when unleashed. Think about someone you admire for their presence. They don't rush when they talk. They don't sound reactive or bitter. They don't stay grounded. even under pressure. Their emotional steadiness becomes their ultimate advantage. Their steadiness is not luck, it is discipline. It is practice emotional control. To master your tone, you must first understand where it comes from. Tone comes from the breathing, passing, tension, and international dialogues. If your breath is shallow, your tone will be shaky. If your muscles are tense, your tone will be tight. If your thoughts are shorted, your tone will sound shorted. Your internal words become your external song. This is why the most powerful communicator speaks from a place of inner stillness. Stillness doesn't mean emotionless. Stillness means being centered. Stillness means choosing your response instead of reacting from instinct. And tone is nothing more than your response make audible. Mastering tone also requires emotional separation. You must learn to separate the message from the emotion surrounding it. You can feel frustrated and still speak calmly. You can feel disappointed and still speak with clarity. You can feel challenged and still speak with control. The ability to separate emotion from delivery is the hallmark of mature communication. People respect the person who communicates with strength even when the movement is difficult. They respect the person who refuses to let emotion hijack their message. They respect the person who holds their tone when the other loses theirs. Tone is not just how you sound. Tone is who you are while you speak. Your tone says, I'm confident, I'm composed, I'm not red, I'm in control of myself. And the moment people feel that, they trust you more deeply. Tone is credibility. Tone is present. Tone is character makes audible. Pillar 7. Build trust with precision and honesty. Trust is the currency of influence. Without trust, your words mean nothing. Without trust, your ideas fall flat. Without trust, no amount of charisma, intelligence, or confidence will move people. Trust is the foundations on which every message stands. And that trust is built or broken through two things, precision and honesty. You don't earn trust by sounding perfect. You earn trust by sounding real. People want clarity, not a performance. People want trust, not fluff. People want precision, not noise. Here is the reality. People trust you when your words match your reality, not when you make big claims, not when you scare, and not when you perform. They trust you when your language is precise, grounded, and consistent. Precision is not cold. Precision is respect. Is tell your listener, I'm not here to waste your time. Is tell them, I know exactly what I'm saying. Is tell them, you can rely on this. Honesty, on the other hand, is the backbone of credibility. Honesty say, here is what I know. Honesty say, here is what I don't know. Honesty say, here is the truth, even if it is uncomfortable. Think about the moment when someone lost your trust. It wasn't because they make a mistake. It was because they tried to hide it. It wasn't because they don't know the answer. It was because they pretended they did. It wasn't because they changed the directions. It was because they won't admit why. A lack of honesty breeds trust faster than an operational failure ever could. Now, remember, when someone gains your trust instantly, they were probably direct, steady, and measured. They don't oversell, and they didn't sugarcoat. They supply to the truth is a clear way. That is precision, that is integrity, that is the language of the leadership. When you speak with precision, your ideas become concrete. You remove the fog, guesswork, and the emotional statics. You make everything feel cleaner, and clean communication is always trusted communication. Think of your language like a contract. If the contract is vague, no one feels protected. If the contract is received, everyone feels secure. Your message should offer that exact same security. If you want to build real truth, eliminate the language that's created distance. Stop saying things you don't fully mean. Stop softening the truth out of fear. Stop offering half answer and stop hiding uncertainty behind a falsely confident tone. People don't trust the performance, they trust the humanity. Precision doesn't mean speaking cheaply, it means speaking accurately. It means communicating clearly without unnecessary decorations. Honesty doesn't mean blunt aggression. It means respectful transparency and communicating with absolute integrity. Pillar 8. Use silence as a tool. Silence is one of the most powerful tools in communication. Yet it is the one people fear the most. People rush to fill the silence, rush to explain, and rush to fill the space with meaningless noise. But the truth is simple. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. Silence is the space where your words gain weight. It is the part where your ideas sink deeper. It is the moment when your presence becomes undeniable. If you learn to use silence well, you will speak with 10 times more impact. Most people completely misunderstand silence. They think it means something is wrong or that it makes them look unprepared and judge. So they speak quickly, filling every second, effectively talking over their own message. But strong communicators understand a fundamental law. The person who controls the silence controls the room. Silence is not empty. It is full of meaning, intentions, and power. Silence reveals supreme confidence because only grounded people can hold it without fear. When you are not afraid of the silence, people sense your strength immediately. When you speak without pause, your message becomes a blur. It becomes harder to follow, harder to absorb, and harder to respect. Words delivered without speed feel rude, disparate, and ungrounded. But when you speak with intention, thoughtful speak, everything changes. Your words land harder, your meaning becomes clearer, and your voice becomes compelling. Silence is the amplifier. It is the frame around the painting. It is the break between musical notes that make the melody come alive. Silence turns raw communication into lasting impact. Silence is also essential when delivering critical points. If you never pause before a key message, the listener never knows which message is key. Everything blends together. But when you pause, the listener feels something important is coming. Their attention sharpens and their mind is prepared. A pause before a point creates that anticipation. A pause after the point creates maximum impact. Pillar 9. Read the room and adapt. Influence is not just about what you say, it is about whether you say it at the right moment, in the right way, to the right energy. You can deliver the perfect sentence, but if the room isn't ready for it, it will fall flat. Timing can elevate your message or destroy it. The ability to read the room is what separates good communicators and unforgettable ones. It is the difference between speaking to people and speaking with people, between forcing influence and truly embodying it. Here is a truth many people never clean. Here is a truth many people never learned. You cannot lead a room you cannot feel. When you ignore the room, your message becomes disconnected. When you misread it, your message becomes inappropriate. But when you turn into the room, its energy, its peace, and its emotional temperature, your message becomes perfectly aligned, and alignment is influence. Great communicators don't fight the room, they follow with it, adjusting their tone, pitch, volume, or direction in real time. Adaptation is not weakness, adaptation is mastery. Think of communication like surfing. You don't control the wave. You learn to rise the energy that already exists. Push blindly against the waves and you crash. Move with it and you glide. When you speak into a resident room with brute force, the resident only grow. But when you speak with awareness, that resident soften. People don't reject your message because it is wrong. They reject it because they don't feel understood. Reading the room makes people feel seen and adapting makes them feel respected. When people feel respected, they open up and listen. Pillar 10. Repeat the fundamental until mastery. Mastery is not based on the advanced. Mastery is based on the fundamental. The basics done constantly, deliberately, and internationally create more impact than any complex techniques ever could. Great communicators don't chase new tricks. They sharpen the essential until they become second nature. Here is a truth most people advise. You do not rise to the levels of your potential. You rise to the levels of your discipline. The fundamentals of communications are simple: clear thinking, strong words, a calm tone, and intentional structure, emotional control, and an active awareness of the room. None of these are flashy or dramatic on their own, but when repeated over time, they turn you into a communicator. People trust implicity. Most people want mastery without repetitions, confidence without practice, and influence without discipline. But influence is not an incident, it is a lifelong habit. Consistency is the foundation of the mastery. Repetition is the architect of skill, and mastery is what happens when repetition becomes part of your core identity. Repetition doesn't make your communication robotics. It makes it entirely reliable. It based at reliable present, reliable clarity, and reliable authority. This reliability is what separates true professional from amateur. Every expert wants a beginner who refuses to quit the fundamental. Every journey of transformation reaches a moment where the lessons settle, the clarity sharpens, and the message lands in a deeper place inside you. It is that moment you have walked through clarity, authority, precision, honesty, emotional control, silence, structure, adaptability, and discipline. You have seen how each piece reshapes your communication, but more importantly, how each piece reshapes you. When you change the way you speak, you change the way you live. The voice you bring into the world is a direct reflection of your inner world. You are not just improving a skill, you are refining your identity. You now understand that real influence is not loud, forceful, or dramatic. Influence is clear, intentional, and steady. The fundamentals are your permanent anchor. Return to them often, let them steady you, and let them sharpen your voice into a tool of true leadership. People don't just hear your voice, they feel the depth intention behind them. When you speak with clarity, you give their clarity. When you speak with honesty, you give them safety. When you speak with strength, you give them courage. And when you speak with calm authority, you give them a clear directions to follow. The greatest communicators are not those who speak the most, but those whose words carry the most weight. Your voice is a direct reflection of your inner world, your value, and your confidence. When you speak with intention, clarity, and calm authority, you don't just change the conversation, you change the room. Mastery is not a destination, it is a continuous commitment to the fundamentals. By choosing perception over egorections, silence over panic, and alignment over force, you step up off the noise and into true leadership. Thank you, brother and sister, for your learning and watching the whole contents video. You can leave the comments and something feedbacks on this content, or you can request for more video. See you soon. Bye.